Yay! Welcome to We're Not Dead.
Yes, welcome to We're Not Dead. If you are watching or listening to this podcast, we have a video version of this. Just go to YouTube and look for Mike Smith and Mayhem. My name is AJ.
Wakka.
Jay.
Ace.
Welcome. We have a special guest tonight or today or whatever time you're listening or watching this. We have KC Wayland joining us. Yeah, come on. Come on. Yes. This is our second time.
Can I start off with a question for you all?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, so I got used to your layout that you had before, but now with all your different screens, how is your room oriented? Because I have like, where is everybody at? I obviously know where Ace is. But...
yeah. So we have a what?
It's a kind of like an octagonal table.
Yeah.
And so Wakka and I are facing each other, and then Ace is, or then Buggy is in between us, and then all of our cameras are on the other side of the table at different angles pointing at us, and it's a very interesting setup here right now.
It's much better. It's much better.
Okay, that makes sense. Now the finger helps.
Yeah.
I'm on this side. Wait, where's your camera?
There we go.
Okay.
It's much better than before, because before we had the one long table, and whenever we talk, we had to like turn. And someone mentioned
going
that
off mic and
someone mentioned that you guys kept looking at each other and not the camera, so we had to change it.
She's mentioned just a lot of things.
Just make it a little easier. I'm just 300 miles away.
Right. We missed.
So where did you moved away then?
I did. Yeah.
Yes. We actually missed the couch. Most people, not all of us. Remember
I
the
don't
couch?
miss the couch. I don't miss the couch.
Yeah. That was the
probably all hot and sweaty, all up in everybody's jaw.
There was a bar in the middle of that couch that I sat on every time. And so the last time that we actually were talking to you from that couch, we were sitting there for like 4 hours or whatever.
It was a 5 hour.
5 hours, and I was on that bar that entire time.
Yep.
No amount of
we
pillows
really had like
could
a
save
5
me.
hour session.
Yes, we did.
Yeah,
because we did 3 episodes with you, and then we did our episode, so it was a 5 hour episode.
It was brutal.
It was great. I enjoyed every single bit of it. It was awesome. But yeah, so thank you for making this happen. We're Not Dead. We could not believe when you offered it to me. I said, hey, do you guys want to take We're Not Dead? And I told these guys, and we all ecstatic.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
we couldn't believe
my mind was blown. I was like, is he really giving us that?
Such an honor.
Well, thanks for taking up the helm. I mean, honestly, it's something where, like, as this year especially, I think I've been digging through all the things that I've been meaning to take care of. Like, we got the wiki back up, we got the forum back up. Like, I wanted to get the We're Not Dead feed active again and like hand the mantle over. Like, for you guys, it was Mick and Redbeard, and they did their own feed and everything, and it worked out really well. But like, we never really got to transfer anything for that, and it was kind of, they were off on their own thing. But for this, it was like perfect timing. It worked out well. And I know you guys have been looking for a name for a while. So I was like, hey.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, Couch Guys was my thing. And that should have...
No. Not at all.
It's got some translation issues there.
It does.
Exactly.
You get the wrong crowd. And it's not okay.
It's
by the way, speaking of Couch Guys, we're not going to talk about that. But what I meant was, I saw the look on your face. I went to the wiki and the forum, and I saw the We're Not Dead, and you included some of the lingos, some of the words that they mentioned, like like a secret joke that people say.
An inside joke?
An inside joke, yeah.
Okay.
I'd love to be part one someday. But
you just don't know about it yet.
Yeah,
You just have
You
to
are
be
the inside joke.
but they had some inside jokes in there, and then that made me think, like, we have inside jokes in our podcast, like things that we say. Yeah.
Then update it. I mean, I haven't. It's been a while since that thing was updated, so get on there.
Yeah. like some of the things that I, like when when AJ relates everything, like the Moses theory.
Oh my gosh.
The Moses theory.
Look at Casey.
Well, the funny thing is, like, literally when I'm describing Alex, and by the way, spoilers, everybody. When I'm describing Alex and all of them going across a desert, I'm literally like, okay, this is Exodus here. If
Yes.
it's very
100%.
clear that they are trying to escape their own pharaoh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Enslavement.
difference is that they come up and F Pharaoh in the A. So
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, and then
It's surprise.
and then from there, from more realistic to way more ridiculous claim, connecting to the Moses theory. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, there's a lot of quote unquote like biblical references if you think of it like that. Just in the core group of like Saul, Michael, Angel. I mean, there are some tones, but it's not a theme of the show. I pull from a lot of different places and a lot of different inspirations and. Like even though like the angel of death is a biblical thing, it's also not at the same time. It's not just one religion. It's something that's kind of spanning a lot of different cultures over time.
Yeah. Speaking of which, so we had a question on our Reddit, which there's a ton of questions on Reddit, Casey. I don't know if you're ready for all of that question, but that was a lot.
Yeah.
Someone asked, what is your inspiration out of We're Alive? Like, were you always been a zombie fan, or because we know you've done a lot of other things besides We're Alive before and after We're Alive, but why story of survival? Why zombie?
Well, there's a couple of reasons for it. Mostly, it did stem from one place. When I was deployed overseas, I was stationed at the right next to the Al Rashid Hotel in Iraq, and this hotel. In my opinion, had like the greatest zombie survival plan because what they did was they secured the bottom floor and then they filled it with a bunch of soldiers. And I'm like, that's like the perfect zombie survival scenario because you're using your elevation as not only a deterrent, but also as a way to like, if people are coming at you, you have elevated positions. Like it's really, really great for that. So I was like, this would be really awesome to base a story around this. So that was like part one of it. And funny thing is, in real life, it ended up getting rocketed and mortared and attacked, and then they didn't have soldiers there anymore.
Makes sense.
So, yeah. So that was sort of that inspiration of like the sort of the idea of the tower was sort of like the first character. But also I have a couple ideas about retelling of stories that I thought weren't very well done. And zombies, especially at the time, I did not feel like they were done too well. There was no like zombie survival horror show when I first started We're Alive. Walking Dead was not around.
Yeah.
And
okay.
So I was like, oh, this is great. You know, no one does a serial show like this. I'll start an audio drama. We'll move on to other mediums eventually, and then Walking Dead came out like almost a year later after we started, and I'm like, okay, well now yay.
Yeah. And now there's so many of them, like too many.
Yeah, I mean their storytelling is very different than ours, and
yes.
it is hard to explain to people like why it is so different, but once you've listened to the show, then you kind of know. Like we are not the pessimists of the world when it comes to like the themes of people and their will to survive.
Wow.
Yeah, it feels like a lot of, especially in like after the first couple seasons, it feels like a lot of that show kind of goes into like we're always gonna be dying, we're always gonna be in trouble. There's always gonna be something as to where We're Alive really feels like even if there isn't one, it always feels like there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Like, I mean, we had that almost 18 years of peace kind of go in there, and we haven't seen anything like that in pretty much any other zombie show or scenario, at least that I've tracked.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, we try and do things different than what they do in some ways, because it's it's the pessimistic versus the optimistic point of view, and together we have more strength and also the infected are completely different too. So that's a whole different category.
Yeah. The evolution of your infected is definitely a lot different than any other ones. Yeah,
Definitely better.
For sure.
It has been a really big hook for me. I've always been a big zombie fan, and so like seeing how the more organic transformations, instead of it being either the one type that stays current throughout the entire thing, where you think the main cast would adapt to them and overcome them, or you have like stuff like Resident Evil where it's just everything is bioengineering, crazy concoctions.
Yeah, I played it recently, and I was like, wow, they really go off the rails with some of this stuff.
I just played Resident Evil 2 last week, and because it was a free download, and I was just like, this is kind of interesting.
Speaking of Walking Dead, have you seen Walking Dead, Casey? Oh, okay.
I have not.
There's a character in Walking Dead that his name is Glenn, right? Yeah.
No.
And everybody hated that Glenn died. Speaking of which, while you're watching this, if you haven't listened to the current episode of We're Alive Descendants, please listen to that first, because this is gonna have a lot of spoilers. We're gonna talk about things that had happened, and hopefully, I hope, if Casey will allow us, know a little bit of what's going to happen next. We're not forcing him. We're not tying his hands down.
That looks like a no.
I'm just saying. I mean, he said we can ask whatever we want, and we told you guys we can ask it, but that doesn't mean he's going to answer it. Speaking of, so Glenn, when Glenn died on Walking Dead, everybody hated it. Everybody hate that happened.
Yeah.
Is there any characters on We're Alive that died, and everybody hated that you kill off this character that you know of?
I mean, the soldiers, that's a big one. I mean, there's been a lot of characters where they're like, why did you kill them off? Like, spoilers, like Michael, people have given me a lot of crap for. People call him Angel, Saul.
Really?
I mean, everybody I've killed, I think someone has given me crap for at one point in time.
I gave a lot of crap about
Lizzie.
Lizzie. Yeah. I still remember that because that was when I was catching up, and they first introduced me, and I literally was in the middle of work, and I just texted them in a group chat, just like all caps. What?
It's one of the things where like people are like, how can you do that? But honestly, I've gotten so comfortable with those characters dying because we're getting to that point. Like I have a list of the outline of where everyone lives, where everyone dies. Like it's all planned so far in advance that when I get there, I'm like, it's the evolution of the story. So I've gotten so used to it, so I'm slightly numb to it. But it's kind of meant to be that way too. But when with Lizzie too, like when she died, because it's like that's my wife. Actually, was she? Did we get married? Yeah, we got married before she died.
Yeah. Well, when I did that, I remember they sent you guys the screenshot of like the message, and that was when you guys had your kid. Because you guys responded like, just in case it helps, they're both safe and happy right now or something like that.
Yeah, and her last name changed in the credits. So it was like, oh wait, oh nice.
Went from Byhauer to Wayland.
Yes,
yeah,
Nice.
I'm gonna ask you. So you started it with Lizzie, hating that Lizzie died. I know who's yours. Ace, who's yours? Like someone that died, and you're like, I cannot believe that character died.
That's hard for me. I think probably the most I can't believe would either be Hope or
that is true. Hope. Yeah.
I mean, you got to kill off Hope.
Like,
gotta take it away.
Hope isn't there forever.
I think the other one would have been the soldiers, though. And of course,
that's the one. I'm like, oh, man, I was so. When I created the soldiers, I was in line for a movie probably 3 or 4 years before I even had them come in, and just coming up with their storyline. I wasn't attached to them at all. And then as I brought in these people and they really embodied their roles, oh god, it was so hard. I didn't want to do it, and on Gold Rush was like a way of me being like holding on to them just a little bit longer.
And I think that gave me some resolution to their deaths too, because it all happened so fast.
Yeah.
And like they even had like their epic moment when they're all dying, and that like it made it hurt so much more. I part of me wanted to say Michael, but at the same time, like the wording that you used was perfect. It was kind of just his time. His story was done. Story of Survival's done. There are so many shows and movies now that like use the old characters. Like they're doing like the sequel. It's like they're direct kids. The story's supposed to be about their kids, but people are so attached to the old cast that you hold on to them with everything, and you're comparing everything the kids do to them, and it almost is like, well, the new main characters aren't the main characters because we're still looking at them. So Michael dying was the perfect way to be like, his time's done. Now we're on to these kids. We removed him from the picture without jumping 80 years into the future kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Which feels like is what a lot of those shows should do, because like I've said this about a couple of them, that if they did the exact same they're doing now 80 years in the future, so their parents are dead, those shows would probably be successful. It could be the only problem. Yeah, the only problem is that they let the old main character have too much of a moment in the sequel. And so people now are like, this isn't the kid's story.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's kind of where we are in season 2, because I know everyone's like, what's going on with Riley? What's going on back home? I need to know these answers. And I'm like, look, we're focused. We have passed the torch. We have gone into the other. Yeah. We're following a different story right now. They don't know, so you won't know. Sorry.
So when you put it that way, that really makes sense on why we haven't heard about Riley.
Yeah.
That clears that one up. So
no, this is what Casey's saying to people like us. It's like, what's going on with them? And Casey's like, who cares?
Get over it.
Who cares?
He said, shut up.
Do you really care? You don't.
She could be alive. She could be dead.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Mine.
We'll just pan over to the funeral.
I think I think the obvious answer is Datu. Because of my bias, and I just love Datu. Yeah. And the way he just died,
he was the death of the heart of the show in a lot of ways. Like he was the heart and soul of the group, and to see him go through what he went through is like detrimental, but also it gave us an opportunity to hear onto the other side of the veil.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was our conduit to be able to see what it is like on the infected side. So he was super important for so many reasons, and also what how Samantha died, the parallel between that and him with the arena, and it all just kind of seamlessly came together. And I think a way that, I mean, I wouldn't do it any different, honestly.
Yeah no, I agree. Wakka Samantha for sure. 100%.
Yeah, Samantha was my.
Rebecca Roberts.
Yeah.
She did so great. That's the original voice. Who played Samantha was Rebecca Roberts, a friend of mine from Chapman University. Who, so I met Blair in it was a TV acting class. I was on the production side of things. She was also on the production side of things, but they also had actors from the class. And then she was one of the people that we met in there.
Oh, nice.
Recruited.
Well,
that's really cool.
She did really good with the voice. That was nice.
Oh, she was so good. It was really cool to bring her back and have her play her character again, which was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Actually,
yeah.
If you like her character, there is another. She does another audio drama with us called Triage, and
Triage.
I think it's on the Theater for the Mind.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
she was in it, and then also Phil Nieto, who you'll hear a lot in the background.
Yeah.
But my real answer, it's not Datu is the obvious answer, but my real answer, surprisingly, was Randy. When I was listening to Story Survival and how I got attached to Randy, it was like, oh, this is Michael's friend, and he's smart. This will change the dynamic of this whole tower. It's definitely gonna help. He's definitely gonna be the asset of this whole, the gang. And then that whole thing happened. I was so disappointed. I was sad and disappointed at the same time.
But you knew what happened to Randy before you met him, though.
Yes. So I connected that. It's like, oh, he turned, and then I found out his origins, kind of like a lore of him. Like, oh no, he's gonna turn. Yeah, I was a little
That
disappointed.
death still haunts me, but like in a different way. It haunts me for anything that's to come. Because I'm just afraid of another Randy like style influence popping up.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why anytime anyone talks about like Will turning or anything like that, I'm like, no.
Or
No.
or Boar face. Look at Casey. I don't know.
So
Stop it! Stop doing that.
Oh, you know me, Ben. I can perform. I can make you believe anything I want you to make.
Yeah,
True,
you
that's
fooled us
true.
so many times.
can we? I think we're mostly in agreement on who the one person is. We're okay that died.
Oh my god!
That's just you. Carmen, he's been an advocate of killing Carmen since day one.
Carmen's one of those characters where I know why she's not liked is because she went against the protagonist.
Yeah.
Her one of her roles is like as a character is to poke holes in these little boys' plans, which some of them are actually stupid. Like they're not really they're not really great plans. And also, if you let's walk a mile in Carmen's shoes for just a little bit. But like these little immature kids that are just goofing around like at the bus stop, jumping on top of the cars, and you're gonna follow them and believe that people are like turning into zombies and dying and willing to shoot someone. Like from her perspective, I can't fault her at all.
Yeah.
I would do the same thing and be like, are you an idiot? Like
The voice actor, she did an amazing job with her.
She did,
so,
absolutely.
yeah. I always feel bad for the hate that I give on her. I always have to follow it up with like, you did a great job.
It's like we hate because it was so good.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I remember.
it's the character choices. I get it.
Yeah.
Every time I replayed that one episode when you said, "Oh, Carmen's dead," yeah, she deserved that. He was cracking up.
It's funny. I mean, I see all the comments people make whenever anybody goes up against someone else's choice. They become not liked for whatever reason. Like, and it's weird how it like from week to week it's completely different. Like, oh, I hate Vera. Oh, I hate Nick.
Yeah.
Oh, the only ones that people don't hate ever are Alex and Dot because.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's
why-
awesome.
Oh my
why-
god.
Yes.
That's awesome.
How can you
amazing.
hate someone who can only say one word?
She's so awesome.
Well, that's why there are some people who hate her for that one reason. Like they can't stand her
that
So-
because
makes
she only
sense.
says one word.
I actually, at the very beginning, I was not a big fan of her. And then when you start to be able to interpret what she's saying, even though she's just saying dot, you fall in love with her because you're just like, I can understand this now. Like, I'm literally playing the words that she's supposed to be saying in my head as I'm listening to her. Dot dot. Like it's just like
So good.
She did.
My
really
gosh,
good.
yeah.
Riley Bishop, I have sent her many messages after the fact to be like, "Hey, look at these fan responses, and she's just like eating it up because she's such a very humble person, and I think one of these actors that's like undiscovered, that will, if people actually like gave her a chance, would realize how amazing she is at what she does. Like she does the Iola Statley in the very beginning of the show.
Oh,
Is that the British version? On Westport News,
Oh,
and it's just like
yeah,
that's her.
it's just like it's so different that you're like, wow, I'm crazy,
yeah.
absolutely crazy.
Wow,
So talented.
talent. Nice.
way to go.
Did you have to like do some reshoots with that? Because like I don't like the way you said that kind of thing.
Trying to get
No,
right
not
inflections
really.
and stuff.
No.
We I don't think we did any pickups for her. We did some for Alex. I know that much because we had to record a whole bunch of the quote unquote Exodus team separately because of logistics and literal miles, and one of our characters had some like health issue come up, so we had to record them separate. So yeah, it's that storyline was a little chaotic to make it seem seamless. That was a hard one.
Nice.
And so so we did pickups with Alex, but Dot, if we ever have something with Dot that we need to pick up or change, I almost can find something another line that has the same inflection that I'm looking for.
Right.
For the most part, it's
Yeah,
1-to-1.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because I know you had some revisions that you did with Scouts Honor that we didn't know that the word that they call the freshmen are, derogatory in other countries.
Yeah, I don't know that either.
I didn't know either. We had to look it up. It's like,
Wait,
what?
what they call?
The polywog, because that's what they're called,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I know you did some reshoots too, with, like which by the way, you call the bullet. When you call when
the
you
wrong
count
count on the
ammos.
bullet.
Sorry, it's like
Our lights are going weird.
Yeah, I know. So I was just wondering if there's anything in, that you had to change with that. I have one more questions before we go to Reddit. If you guys have any questions, please ask him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask mine. We love the guy, the person who played Angel Senior. He's one of our favorite characters.
Oh,
Dude.
Paul Ben Victor. Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
Oh, he's
Great.
awesome.
His voice was amazing. So when you wrote Angel Senior or any other characters in We're Alive universe, do you have already a character or a celebrity or a person that you're going to play, or you're gonna play this character?
Paul Ben Victor was one of these guys. Like, he actually plays somebody completely different in Bronzeville, 'cause that's where I met him on set. But what I loved about him on set was how flexible he was, how versatile he was. Like, you give him a direction, he ran with it really well, and how he was willing to do stuff with his voice that is very hard for certain actors to do. And so I was like, this would be a great guy for this. And ultimately, my dream at that time was to have him and Steven Weber be the characters who they are and read off of each other. And unfortunately, that didn't end up happening. But we still got Paul. Paul agreed to do it. And funny thing is, like, Angel Senior has been a character that I've had in my back pocket for, God, I don't know how long now. Maybe 10 years ish.
wow.
So it's been a while before, like, finally being able to hear him. Because also we've been working on the family book that the Angel Senior is a big part of that. And giving the backstories for Angel and Scratch, and now Vincent.
Yeah.
And so giving all of those ideas life and explanations is really, it's been really fun. And to find that right voice to, like, match what you've had in mind for a long time, it was really awesome. Just,
Is Vincent's Angel's half brother, or are they full?
Full.
Oh, they're full brothers. Okay.
yeah, full brothers. Yeah, he's they refer to him sort of as a baby face because he looks very, very young. But he's much older than he is.
And I might be touching something that's about to be revealed someday, so you don't have to answer it. When Michael said Angel, was he referring to seeing Vincent and thought that it was Angel?
Yes.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Wasn't that kind of?
No, he looks.
Well, yeah, I just want to confirm.
okay.
It. Yeah.
He looks like his brother
Yeah.
a little bit. Like, it's not something that. It's almost like if you haven't seen him in a while, you may have forgotten. But Michael knew Angel for a decent amount of time before the outbreak even happened, so he's more familiar with them. Because there's a thing where, like, you're like, oh, why didn't Riley recognize him in the arena?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of distance with that. Like, she saw him. She was up on, like, the rail. He was down in the arena, and she's definitely not seeing anybody up close. And there's a bit of proximity that is in play there.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that definitely answered one of my questions for sure. All right. Let's talk about some of the questions that they have in here. One of the main questions that I've seen multiple times is about Bronzeville. They ask, when do we get a Bronzeville / We're Alive crossover?
Never.
That's like that's a simple question. That's a simple answer right there. Never.
Not gonna happen. Crossovers. People have asked me to do crossovers with other shows before, and I'm like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
It's there are some world blending things here and there that I like to play with other inspirations and things, but for the most part, there's no reason to have Brownsville brought into We're Alive.
Now, the other question here is, when do we get another season of Bronzeville? Is that in the works?
Probably not going to happen. Just
Oh.
because those seasons were really expensive to make. The people that were behind them have moved on to other things, and the reason why they did them was to like pitch the TV show and have it go to the next level. And I think they're still doing that. It's getting a TV show made is a hard thing to do. So I don't suspect there being a third season, unfortunately.
Gotcha. Oh wow. You want to ask some of the questions, Jay?
Yeah, I
And
was
Ace?
just looking up Bronzeville, see what
Oh,
that
right.
I didn't know about that.
All
Sorry.
right, I got a question from.
Subsequent seasons are really expensive. It's like
Mhm.
we fought tooth and nail for the longest time to do more We're Alive just to have the funding to do it. We
Yeah.
still do.
Yeah.
Each season is incredibly expensive. Like I have a stat here. If you're curious, where's my editing sheet?
That is a bright screen.
Oh, I'll turn it back to where it's like, oh, there you go.
Nice. Oh my God, that is a bright screen.
If I turn on, if it's like a white, I can.
Yeah.
I have 3 monitors
Nice.
all around for editing and post stuff. But
Yeah.
let's see here. So, Chapter 13. These are stats. I think all of these 4 are updated. Chapter 13 took 253 hours of post. Chapter 14 took 224. Chapter
wow.
15 took 194, and Chapter 16 so far that I've tallied is 232 hours.
Wow.
Wow.
So that's just those chapters alone, and they're still right now 17. The tally is 203 hours, but I haven't tallied up all the rest of the hours yet. This season alone, we're sitting at, just in post, 1,383 hours.
Is that you alone, or is that man hours in general?
That's man hours. That's me, another editor, 2 other editors, and then 2 sub editors. Mostly that's split between about 3 people.
Okay.
My hours in post right now are sitting at 549
Okay. Nice.
for this season.
Sheesh.
So
Lots of
that's what gets costly, is producing these things, because there's so many moving parts. Just doing Foley alone and doing all those extra things and all the passes, it's all worth it. And when it's done, it's done. But it does, for every hour that you're walking, it's a whole hour of walking that you have to edit it and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I have a question here from Castle Prophet on Reddit. He said, "Ooh, any questions? That's tough. But I have to ask if there's any plans for the IP once Descendants is done. I want to say I heard that it'll be last of the series, but I want to know if we should expect any more side stories like Lockdown, Gold Rush, Scouts Honor, or even Frontier."
I would say not. I wouldn't expect anything really big. We do have the musical that we've talked about for a long time. So the musical is probably a thing that might come down the road. If that's one of these things where I'd love to do it. I have the ideas for it. Some little of the song things worked out, and it's really a good mashup of the world. It doesn't expand or do anything with the current existing story. It just it's a side story that doesn't build off of anything. And then the family book. And then other than that, I mean, anything we do after this would probably end up being like if we do an adaptation or something. I have this theory that once the show is done, that's when we'll maybe get an opportunity to do an adaptation. It's something where I've always thought that the universe will not let me do an adaptation until it's this version's complete.
I follow you on Instagram and on Facebook, and I watch all your stories every time you post something. And you post regularly some of the recently you posted the shims and the paint mixers, right? And you step on them for other sounds and things like that. Is there any cases where you're just, I don't know, you're just watching a baseball game or you're just walking around and you hear a weird noise and you're like, that's a perfect noise for certain things that I want for my certain episodes? Or what is...
Yes.
Yeah?
But I'm trying to think of like what that would have been. I'm gonna say yes, but I can't point an exact example right now of it.
But how do you plan out all this audio? Because you're not gonna get like 100 cicadas just to step, like dead cicadas to step on, right? But how does your audio mind
find you a bunch of
creativity? Right.
Yeah, depending on where you live. We don't have them
Gosh.
actually. We're in California.
But how does
There's
it? Go ahead, Ace.
Oh my gosh, the decibel level around my work increases so much. Like you can't
hate
hear
them.
your thoughts because
I'm
of
with
these
you there.
cicadas.
Casey,
this
I'm
year.
with you there.
It's
I hate
so
'em.
bad. Oh my gosh! And
that's
every
why
time they
no
mow
one
the
should move
lawn,
there.
we just see like cicada bodies everywhere. Oh my goodness!
But how does your
It's just-
creativity works with that? Like how do
Well,
you know? You know, I want a squishy, gushy sound.
It kind of all starts with the story itself. Like when I'm writing it, trying to figure out like how can I do something with the storytelling and let sound be part of the storytelling in a unique way. If there's an opportunity to bridge the characters and do something sonically, that's usually what I'll end up doing with the storyline. It's like, how can I tell this, you know, story wise and make this feel like it is organic? So like Louisiana, how do we make Louisiana feel very different than any other place that they're walking? Well, one of them was the cicadas, like they're walking on. It makes it feel like it's there. It gives it a time and place, a feeling. It also like walking through gross bugs in this world is sort of also a little bit of a parallel of the story that's what going through now of what they're having to go through. And so there's a lot of like little things like that where I try and find ways to use the storytelling to exemplify the sounds. It's one of the reasons why like I'm telling a story about zombies in audio anyways, because you have the opportunity to use so much more. I mean, it's not voices per se, so I can do a lot of the infected and I don't have to worry about doing that. I can all day long. And and like the guns, things like that, military, it all gives it a reason to, you know, hear it rather than see it.
How much percentage, like in a typical series where everything is like pre-recorded audio effects versus a program effects?
I'd say in a given episode, it's about maybe 30% is custom and 70% is canned.
Oh wow!
Canned recordings.
Okay.
But you think about like all the ambiences in the background, like all the winds, all that stuff's like canned. Typically, if a character touches an object and it has a custom, like a special sound to it, whether a weight or something like that, that's when things usually are not canned. Footsteps are one of these things where we use less and less canned footsteps because you can't get them to react properly with the characters. You actually spend almost more time editing footsteps that are canned than you would if you custom recorded it.
Makes sense.
Yeah, the shims. When you posted that shims, I'm like, oh, interesting. I didn't even think of that. That was an interesting way of recording that, because those are footsteps, right?
Yeah, no, that's excuse me. That's when Angel Senior is searching through the wood debris for the recorder, and so they're stepping on them, the wood planks, and then he moves them aside. So I did footsteps, and I also had him brush it aside to find the recorder, and that's something because he's touching it and because of the way that he's reacting to it in the scene. I have some stuff in there. There's a lot of layers of it already that I used for like when they're pulling the walls down. So I'm like, I need something custom, and I just happen to have a whole bunch of that stuff left over from when I last did construction. So I was like, great. There we go.
It works. I got one here from Dark Elite on YouTube. He asked, who was the official leader of the families before Oliver, and what happened to them?
Oh, let's see here. I'm pretty sure they died in the outbreak. Let's see.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm consulting my family tree.
Oh, you have the lore already.
Yeah, this is the thing where Ace would
Yes.
press a brick.
Yeah.
You can see his smile right there.
I don't know what you're talking about.
His character's not moving.
I don't know what you're
Character's in
talking about.
His ears
He's
are
like, can that camera turn a little bit,
yeah,
please?
yeah. His ears are perked up.
Let's see here. There's in the family tree alone. I think I've mapped out about. Is it how many? About 300 members.
Wow.
Wow.
Most of them have nothing to do with the storyline. Like I mapped all the way out from the founders all the way out to I think even the generation past our current generation.
Oh, wow.
Very cool.
Just to kind of know where everybody is and who's related to who, when were they born, when did they die? Because a family tree, because I did genealogy for my family for a while, just as a fun thing to do of like going through my roots, and it is to create something like that from scratch is really hard because they have to be at the right age to have the children. They have to, there's all these little things you have to think about. It can't be random. And we also had so many different family members popping up. I'm like, I don't want to just make this up. So by creating a family tree like this, it kind of gave us, or gave me an opportunity to really do it well.
Did you map it out all the way from the beginning or no?
Yeah.
Like,
No, I didn't.
Oh.
No, I had some of the family tree, but no, it's when I started working on the family book more that I flushed it out. Because I didn't need to figure out all the members early on.
Gotcha.
'Cause
Right.
it literally it took like a week to make this thing, and that was the very boring week. Because
So
it
you
was
kind of
just
got like the beginning, and then you started from like the now and worked your way back a little bit.
a couple branches. Yeah, that's all we really needed. We didn't need to go crazy
Yeah.
with
No.
all these different things. Let's
Don't
see
need the
here.
30-second cousin 4 times removed.
No, now we have that.
Ace does.
Now we have that.
Yes. Yes.
The cool thing is in the Excel
might.
sheet, I can put a year, and it'll tell me how old that character is and if they're dead and how old they are when they died. It's a pretty cool Excel sheet.
That's so cool.
I was gonna say something, but I stopped myself. You know what? I'm still gonna say it. Or origin story or the family tree that involves the previous and the current Dawson family, maybe.
The look on his face.
That was just you'll have to wait and find out.
Or not at
I
all.
wouldn't put it like this. I wouldn't go barking up that tree.
That has got to be
that was good.
one of the most incredibly vague answers because that can
That
still
was
go
incredible.
completely either way.
That's incredible.
I'll say this much. They won't give away too much, but the explanation of the Dawson family tree, the reason why you get that information is not known to you yet. So I'll just leave it at that. There is a very specific reason for it, but you won't know what it is until I say you will know in the second half of this next season.
Okay.
That means we're gonna have a live listen episode. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Have you been enjoying those live listen episodes, Casey, that we've been doing?
Yeah, I do enjoy them. It's funny because sometimes I can't, but I can't get to them very quickly, and by the time I've responded to the comments, it's like several days after you've done it, or almost you're ready to record the next one.
Yeah.
Let me see. I'm doing a quick. Is it Command F? Yeah. Okay. There we go. Sorry everybody for holding up the show.
No, we're on the edge of our seat. You're good.
While you're doing that, let me
just
ask you a
very in-depth.
very simple question while you're looking that up. Someone said on Reddit, can you ask him why Vincent is his favorite character? Signed Vincent from Mark Orso. From Michael Orso.
Wait, I completely missed the question. I was like,
Michael Orso said, can you ask him why Vincent is his favorite character? Signed Vincent.
well, so my favorite movie is called Gattaca, and there is a very prominent figure in there named Vincent. So Vincent is one of my favorite names. And actually, if I had a second child, most likely it was going to be a boy. If it was going to be, I'm only going to have boys probably. That's just, if I have a second child, it was going to be named Vincent.
Nice.
But probably not going to have a second kid. Erwin Aaron was the head of the families when the outbreak happened.
Okay.
Erwin
Aaron. So the Amsel, all the trees have different last names. There's like different branches, because they do have different lineages, because otherwise they'd just be inbreeding.
Yeah.
So Aaron is one of the names from the Amsel's tree that's prominent. Yeah, Aaron, Aaron. Actually, there's more Aarons in the Amsel tree than there are Amsels.
Hold on, Casey. Are you
That your look on your face makes it look like you just realized that.
Did you just realize?
I literally just did the math of like, wow, there's a lot more. And there is a third family in the Amsel tree that's kind of not there much anymore. Oh no, I take that back. There are a lot of Amsels in this. I scrolled up. Anton. That was another a name that did not.
Ace.
There's only like 5 of them.
Ace, are you reading what I'm reading? It has nothing to do with my name. My real name is Aaron. I wasn't like, that's not what I'm getting into. Are you reading what I'm reading?
I don't know. What are you?
The Chancellor's first name is Aaron.
Oh no!
Good.
Buggy doing buggy things. Buggy doing buggy
I
things.
heard the name. I'm like, you have to connect the name.
A last name versus a first name.
That's a big difference. Yeah.
Yeah.
One question that just popped in my head about the family: will we find out? Were there any family members in Scouts Honor?
Unlikely.
Okay.
I know everyone was like looking for it, and like, especially with the little bit of the red herring was like he said his last name, but that actually wasn't intentional to be a red herring. That was him trying to say that he didn't like his middle name because it was Lucy is a girl's name, and he didn't like it. It was meant to be a cute thing. That ended up becoming y'all were just going off on it.
It was good. It was a good one.
At the end, like when he finally said it, I was like, I lost all hope in the family. I was like,
we were looking deep for how Lucy like related that, and we're like, we can't find anything.
Yeah. We can't.
No, it's just a little kid who doesn't like his middle name.
No, he's just an innocent child. That's all it is.
Yeah, I love Casey said it's meant to be a cute thing, but you guys just ruined the whole thing.
Well, here's the thing: is you never know what or how the fans are going to interpret something until it's out there. So that's how it goes. I mean, you never know what the reaction is going to be until it's there, and then you see it, and you're like, oh, because there's a couple things. I'll be honest, like that you have brought up on the show, because one of the things I love about this is that I get a little bit of a beat on where the audience is in the story and what they're picking up on at that given time. And honestly, it's a little bit of a reminder of, oh yeah, I need to make sure that I do that thing that I'm planning to do in this chapter here. So that does happen every so often.
Nice.
Gotcha.
We're helpful. Let's go.
Well, it also helped, but also didn't help send us on that rabbit trail that the family at that point was still such a secret. I feel, and so it was one of those like dangling, treats out there, and then anything that we felt led down that path, we were going to take it and run with it. And now we're just doing that with the massive morsels that you're giving to us in every episode.
Well, all the family stuff now is just is thick, and the nice thing is I'm actually really glad that we finally got to this episode, because you know how long that I've known like where this is and like the revealing of the killer, like Angel Senior, the family, the 3 different households, like all this stuff has been like I've been sitting on it for so long that I'm finally like, okay, fine, I can I can finally talk about this a little.
Nice.
It is a big relief.
Been
It is a big
starving
relief.
for this information for so long.
It's like it reminds me of like Kevin Malone in The Office. I knew it the whole time, and I didn't tell any one of you. I have a question about Scout's Honor. Could you explain, at least to me, because I probably asked you guys this and you probably explained it already, but explain to me his dream and the explanation of his dream. Is there any like explanation on why
the dream sequence way
Yeah.
back then? It's a foreshadowing of what happens to Blaine.
Gotcha.
It's a foreshadowing of them losing Blaine, and him not coming back to the boat.
Oh, that's why he's yelling for
That's
his
all.
name.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's meant to soften the blow of what eventually will happen
Yeah,
later on.
and it didn't.
Like prepare them for the possibility of it.
Yeah.
More of them got out than we expected, so I mean, we really have nothing to complain about. We were shocked that any of them made it, let alone 3. So
Yeah, we're still. Oh, go ahead, Ace.
I was say it's kind of one of those things your subconscious knows something wrong is gonna happen, and so it's trying to give you your worst case scenario, but not in like the most gentle way.
Yeah.
So when reality hits, it's like, okay, well, it just happened. Like, that's it. It happened.
Well, that's something that I've sort of learned over the years is you kind of, and I do this a lot, is I like to prepare the audience for the things that will happen, so that even though they become devastating, they're not A, left field, and B, the audience is sort of like, kind of built into it. Like they've kind of worked up to understand like this is where it's going, and I don't do things for shock value very often.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't want to pull a Game of Thrones when just everybody dies, and you're like, this is a dream, right? Like, what just happened? Like, what?
Right. Well, because
Well, I will say with Game of Thrones though, there is a thing where, just like Michael dying, the story can't continue on until you actually get to a character that has to go away for that to happen. So it's like that's the stuff that I get. So like when we talk about like the big deaths in Game of Thrones, where like Oberyn Martell or the Red Wedding or things like that happen.
Gosh, spoilers,
The
guys.
story
No, I'm kidding.
can't continue with them.
Yeah.
Oh, you might enjoy this. Not to do a little fun thing, but this is pretty cool.
Oh.
I have a little coin
What?
of Aces
What?
Man when I got to meet George R. R. Martin.
Wow.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
That's
so cool.
Gonna slide
What?
this flex in here, just
Yeah.
saying.
So if I ever need a real coin,
You got one.
Nice.
Please don't
I have one. And it's as valid as it gets.
That's insane.
But it was my
cool.
birthday, and we were at Comic-Con, and he was at the same restaurant, and we did a little bit of the fan thing, and I don't like doing it, but we were like, we're just big fans of your work, and just wanted to say thank you, and then he gave me the coin, which is kind of cool.
Nice.
Nice.
Hey, listen, I'm glad you like him, but just don't be inspired of him, okay? Just don't start.
I learned. I am in the middle of writing last season now, and I am working my butt off on it, and it is very, very, very difficult. But I am on the 4th chapter now of the possible 10
Wow.
For season 3?
for season 3. Yeah,
Okay. Just making sure, because we still have the second half of season 2, right?
that's all recorded
okay.
and done and in the can.
That's what I thought.
Although I will be doing some revisions, actually, for a couple little things that'll happen in the second season. Nothing big, just a little thing that I'm adding in to the second season to foreshadow something in third that I wanted to put in after the fact that I wrote it, but I get to do that.
Yes, you do.
I have Splurge the Snow here on Reddit. He said, first of all I can ask is, how dare you? How dare you make such an amazing audio drama that makes me want more and more? Now I'm finding week to week waiting for the new episodes. I'm gonna mention this. Every time someone asks me for a podcast,
Standing.
this is me and Ace. We tell them, all right, we have this podcast. You have to listen to it. But let me tell you this. Once you listen to We're Alive, it will ruin the rest of the other audio podcasts because you will hate all of them. I'm going to tell you this based on my experience. You will hate every single one of them because this is it. This is the peak audio drama, in my opinion.
I have to agree.
I'd like to say no, that there are a couple that I like, but unfortunately, like every time I listen to one, I can't turn off my producer brain. It rarely ever happens that I can actually enjoy a story because I'm listening to it. I'm like, that person's too close to the mic. These voices are disconnected. The scene doesn't have a good flow.
Mine works just like him. It annoys me.
Oh, it's the same way for me. Like I serve at my church on audio and I run all the tech and I now request at least one Sunday off. But when I'm sitting in the audience, the lights aren't right there. Well, that singer's up too loud. Well, that reverb isn't up loud enough. That's too loud. And I'm just analyzing everything left and right. And sometimes I have to shut my brain off or, and it's just like, well, that light change was off. Like, it's just, I totally understand. It's really, really difficult to switch into the observer mode kind of thing.
It is. It's just like if you do like film school, they say film school ruins movies. You'll just start deconstructing it. The problem that it's not true when you watch something that's so good that you're just like lost in the storytelling and you're not analyzing it at all. That's when things are really good. But I have not found one of those for audio drama in a while. Every so often I'll hear one that's like not bad, but for the most part, it's hard for me to do the suspension of disbelief because I also like when I'm listening to audio dramas, I also like to have like a full spectrum of sound, and I don't hear many that actually do it or do it well. Like I literally know that sound effects track that you're using for the footsteps. That's in the general 100 pack of that. Same thing with Doors. Doors all the time. They use the same sound effects. The Doors sound effects are all used all over the place.
Yeah.
You can identify them when I'm watching TV shows too. I'm like, that's that one.
Yeah, I think
called
recently
out right now for my homework. The homework for my class is all post-production right now, and so like they're having us use like more generic stuff for the current thing. We did Fully last week or 2 weeks ago, and then last week we were doing like actual stuff from like West Star and all that stuff. And so
what production stuff you doing?
So for I'm gonna be
What's the
working
class?
more with,
What are you doing?
What's your grade?
So I'm in audio production as a whole. It's like an accelerated class at Full Sail. But as what I'm wanting to do, I'm wanting to work more with music. So that's going to be, okay. But because it's an audio production degree, they have us go through everything. Like they've had us do some Foley work for games. They've had us do some Foley work for a cartoon. Right now we're doing Foley work we did Foley work for like a movie based, I think it was in World War II, just a scene. But so it's like cool because like doing that stuff and then watching the way you're doing stuff, seeing the degree of difference is one, insane, and two, makes me realize I don't want to do that. Don't have a brain for this.
Like we talked about this in our previous episode. My favorite sound effect that you have done so far, or in this few past episodes, is the leather seat when Will and Nick was talking to the Chancellor. When they sat down, that's one of my favorite sound that you added in the whole episode. Was that Ken?
That's my wife's editing chair. I pulled it in from inside, and I sat in it for like an hour. Moving around.
It was so good.
Shaking my butt.
Yeah. Well,
get your scent on there.
What I'm about to say might sound really weird, but it tickled my ears. After
that was weird.
After you said that,
I'll do the chair, and then I'll also do like the table at the same time. I'll have like a dish here, and so I'll do a little bit of chair. I kind of stack sound effects sometimes, especially if I have to do them all together. And a scene like that. Same with the dinner party. Was a lot of me. I had a table back there with all the stuff on it, a wood table, and then I was on a platform in shoes with the chair there, so I was doing a lot at once. But yeah, all that stuff is like, if you don't have it, it feels so empty and void. And like when I first heard the scene, because I was given that from the editor, and I was like, I gotta do a pass of just table stuff and table and chair. It needed it.
It was
So,
good.
I actually have a question about the
Little things.
about the Foley side of things,
Mhm.
especially since you've done like so much in audio. So, do you find it easier or harder doing the Foley work for an audio drama versus doing it for like a show or for something where you're actually recording live?
It's easier to not have to match a visual and just go with what sounds best. So, because like when you're trying to match a picture on the screen, you are trying to like there's an energy, a pacing. It's a lot more specific. Versus so like my wife's chair, if we were to actually try to Foley that to something with a picture, I would have to try and make it so that was the right thing that matched. And so that's more difficult, and you're more limited and constrained. Also, with doing like the scene with like Nick struggling in the back seat of the car, I just went out to our SUV and like pinned myself and recorded it, and then used that to kind of build in the scene. So I'm more free. I don't have to work against an image.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it would be easier or harder because you have something like almost directly that you're trying to line up to. Like, yes, like there's more steps maybe in trying to line it up, but having to do that versus having to imagine the scene and then create that realism into the scene in a different way. It's just the difference.
That
I was
makes
just
sense.
curious on that.
Well, I mean, I will say with like first year sound designers that have been working with picture for a while, if I give them a script and a voice cut and say sound design the scene, going beyond the page is very difficult for some of them. But for me, I've done it so long, it's like second nature. So I'd say it's more difficult for somebody who hasn't done it for as long as I've been doing it.
Okay, so it's something that's just become more comfort in the wheelhouse kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like I'm like, oh, I need to put a footstep here. I need to shuffle here, and it's one of the reasons why I do a lot of the Foley walking myself for the scenes, because I feel like there's a lot of people who will do footsteps and there's no character to them. They're just just there.
Right.
On Facebook, Guy said, "What's the kid Gus, the kid of Gus, the bus driver in Scout's honor?" I was like, "That's not even."
No,
That's what
it's not the same character. It's the same name, ish. I didn't even really like make the association until they brought it up, but no, they're not the same character. It's actually opposite time where the Gus the driver is much before Gus the kid.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa!
Whoa.
Hey!
Hello.
Dramatic emphasis.
That was good. I didn't know Gus is the trigger question for that.
My webcam has like you can do gestures.
Oh.
So like it will do certain things. It is not doing it now, obviously.
That's funny.
But it can like zoom in. It can.
That's funny.
That's actually not that bad. That's actually a little bit better. But
Brittany Wilder said, "I've been really curious if he has any ideas planned for something he might want to create when We're Alive is finished. I'd love for him to keep being able to create new stories." Wait, what? Was that the question you said? Oh, I am so sorry.
It's okay.
No,
you can ask it. You can ask it.
No, I thought that
I
was
was
the
gonna
Reddit
tell him
question.
Here's the thing. After We're Alive, right here.
All right.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that was the
I am
one
so
that
sorry.
I just leaned over to him like, let's save this one for the end. Because it talks about the end of We're Alive and what's coming next. And
I thought that was the Reddit question.
it was the Reddit one, but it's the same question. And so I'm like,
because this is Facebook.
yeah, I know. It's just funny because he just goes to Facebook and reads the same question from someone else.
We'll ask that later. I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine. He
No,
answered
we'll
it.
ask that
He
later.
answered it.
No, there's more than that question.
He has
You can.
it.
I'll answer it again. I'll tell you the title later. How's that? sound?
Okay,
All
got
right,
it.
fine. The answer right now is yes or something else.
Okay, good. Oh man, Vince Wilson, Vinton said all of the fans' theories have us diving down numerous rabbit holes. Casey, do you dig most of those holes, or are you just as surprised as the direction that many fans' attention turned? Were there any theories from past stories like Story Survival, Lockdown that surprised you? Anything that made you say to yourself, "I didn't mean for them to think that," and are going to let them assume it anyways? Haha, evil laughter.
Yes, but I can't give you a for instance, because there's been so many wild theories over the years. Literally that I put one in. Like the squid thing that Saul says in the original storyline, that was a fan theory-ish at the time, I think, or something like that. And I was like, I'm just gonna call this out.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna, because why not? No, yeah, there's been a couple. I can't think off the top of my head of like what some of them are. Lucy, I guess, is one.
Lucy?
The name, the middle name.
Yeah.
That theory.
Yeah, we talked about that. It's meant to be a cute thing.
How about the rabbit holes that Buggy goes on almost every episode?
Always.
Every
Dude,
episode.
I think the craziest one when I start looking up, it was Vera's birthday. And the connection of Vera's birthday and the top chart song in the US and in
that's
the
right.
UK. Remember that?
No, we're not.
What would make you dive that rabbit hole?
Ladies and gentlemen, he does have a full-time job, just so we're clear.
No, 'cause it's like there's gotta
This
be.
is not it.
No, but Casey, I mean, there's a reason why you put certain dates and certain informations in there. Is there? Or is there like, I'm gonna choose March 26th for no reason?
Well, there's a timeline that they're on.
Yeah.
All the characters are on a certain timeline. Like, if I'm going through, let's see here. Let me go to my outline page and take a look at the timeline. Let's see here. Like, the very first day, at the tunnel is July 12th, the same day that Michael's attacked. And then all of the days afterwards, there's like a web of different things that are happening inside the series at various times. But where they cross is really important. So that's why the dates are important. One thing that is really difficult for this series, I will say, is that we spend a lot of time with the characters, but the timeline is not very long in some of these early episodes, where it's like, it has been like they were in the arena like a week ago. They like
I
stuff happens
realized
very
that.
quickly.
In the was it the last episode where they mentioned that they were at Prim just a week or so ago, and it was just like, holy smokes, you're right, that was not that long ago. It feels like a month, but it has not been that long.
Definitely is one of these things where when you are doing like in the military, things can happen really quickly. Like I went from Iraq to back to the classroom within like almost like 2 weeks ish. It was very, very short amount of time, and you'll get deployed and move. So like in military-esque environments, you can move so fast where all of a sudden you're like on your couch, and the next thing, a week later, you're back in the combat zone. So things move really quickly in the military world, and so that's something that I try and I kind of include a bit. Sorry, my backup camera that I put in here for you is running low on battery, so I am plugging it in now. I don't know if you need it, but
What is your zombie survival plan? That's from Modern Sparkle.
On Reddit.
Yeah, Reddit.
Let's see here as I fix my camera. My zombie survival plan. One time I had one, and now I'm like, probably come into this office here, because there are no windows. So to get in here is not very easy. And it's soundproof, so inside to outside would be good. And so it's got some protection. So I'd say this is like my little ish protection zone.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
It just popped in my head because you're talking about the arena. Was the parallelism between, and Ace mentioned this in our previous episode, which I actually loved that he said this, the parallelism between Story Survival, Arena, and that's where the Ground Zero is gonna had happened, is that an intentional parallelism to Descendants, where Prim is the arena?
I'm gonna say sort of, and I'll leave it at that. But there is a lot of reasons why Prim was featured in the story, like why the characters go there. It's not just because we wanted to do a Hunger Games-esque like thing. It's because we are doing something with the story for various reasons, and that is one. Prim is has a couple of reasons.
That makes sense.
So we
May not be the same, but it's got some reasoning.
So we haven't heard the last of Prim.
Setups.
Oh heck no, Boar's still there. Well,
No, you definitely will hear at least a Prim again once before this season ends.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
yeah, good job, Ace. That's another applause for you, man.
I'm giving you some things for this next season. You know, little
Right,
things.
right.
Just a bit.
I don't know if this was answered or anything, but what branch did you serve in?
I was Army.
Okay.
I was Sergeant Wayland, E5 in the Army.
Okay. Nice.
Derek Turner asked this, and we've all been asking this, Casey. I wonder what happened to Ruby and the others after they jump off the yacht in Scout's honor. I wonder what their story would be like. They should have a filler on what happened to those three after they got off the Catalina Island and made it back to the mainland.
Yeah, I wonder too.
Oh, what a great answer. Oh my gosh.
Why is that almost exactly what I envisioned the response being?
Nice.
I remember the first time we interviewed him, he said exactly the same thing about certain questions. I wonder too.
With that being said,
I know how to get out of these. I know. I have my bail safe.
Nice.
Yeah. So that was an ambiguous answer, which I'm assuming is kind of the same thing.
We will have some. We will hear of something there. There's a lot of open threads that like we will have some reprieve.
I was gonna say because
some sort.
You mentioned that at least one of them was gonna pop up in Descendants.
Yeah, I can confirm that.
Yeah.
Or at least one.
Now
At least one.
we haven't missed it, right?
No.
Okay. Because we missed it. I gotta go back to the beginning and start listening again.
No. Ruby and Franklin were in the. Remember that place before they got to Atlas? They were sitting in the building. The board's blowing up. The board's.
They're in the train in episode 1.
That's right. Remember that guy who.
I am going to check something really quickly. If there is a slight hint that did come across already. I don't know if it has come up yet. I need to look.
Remember the guy who caught Will and Nick in the bathroom? That was Franklin.
By the way, that was hilarious. That was such a funny scene. Oh my gosh.
That was good.
That was also a really hard scene because it required them to it had to work and not seem weird.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was that took a little bit to make it work, and thankfully, Zhao Tan, who plays Nick, really sold that for me. So I was very grateful.
Not be too weird, but also slightly weird for the scene, kind of thing. Like,
yes,
like a good kind of weird.
It should be awkward.
Like I didn't want it to be what's the word for it? Like negative towards lifestyle choices.
So
in any capacity.
Yeah.
But also like it is. I wanted to get the awkwardness in there and kind of make a little bit of a joke, and also like to go from this really high tension scene to have a little bit of like a humorous break.
That's good.
That was
good.
nice.
It was good.
Yeah. Give us another episode of We're Always Get Canceled episode of We're Not Dead.
That's on you, man.
I know.
That's on you.
Every time, man.
It was like 4 episodes in a row. Like we're 5 minutes into it, like crap, we're getting canceled.
my favorite is still Wakka's.
Oh my gosh.
Pop the
All right.
cherry.
I did like that one.
It was such like an accident too, which made it so much better.
So innocent. That was
Wakka
really...
and his little innocence that just sneaks out of nowhere, and you're like,
Oh,
wait.
Good.
Did you have them?
He had a
jump-
point. Kind of.
and that's what I said. I'm like, you know what? It kind of makes sense, but you know.
Talking about root words and things. Yeah. There's a little-
Yeah, you can,
I
you
get
can
it.
see that.
So did you find out if there was a hint dropped?
No.
Not yet.
Ah,
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Not yet. I think it happens. I think there's a slight hint that happens. I don't want to do this to you, but I think there's a very slight
The
hint
next
of
episode?
something. Maybe it might be in these next episodes, but it also might be in the season 3. I don't remember where it pops up. It's a small little thing. It's not even you wouldn't even notice it. You won't notice it until much later. So it's like I probably shouldn't even let you go on the wild goose hunt of like trying to find something because you
Too
won't know
late.
what it is.
We're
That's
going.
what we are. That's what we
I know.
do.
We're gonna listen so
What did I do?
hard.
Start writing down every dialogue, every piece of dialogue, looking for it.
Oh no, Ace! I just saw your message. I took your question. I am so sorry.
You're good.
I'm so sorry. I just saw your message. Captain Ordinary 21 said, "I could be way off here, but IIRC. What does that mean?
I don't know.
I don't know.
IIRC. It's an internet acronym. IIRC is, if I recall correctly.
Oh, there were plans at one point for
Get that Reddit slang.
for releasing a book series, The Families. Is that still a possibility?
Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one that we've been working on. My plan was to release it after season 2. The big thing was the book could not be released until the reveal in the story about the families. It wouldn't make any sense to reveal it beforehand. And now that we have, now that book can come out after the completion of the second season.
Nice.
Nice.
So is that going to be like a more extensive lore of all the families?
It's not really the lore of the families themselves. It's the lore of 2 of the characters. It's Angel and Scratch. I've sort of revealed that part of it. It's like their origins and what it was like growing up in the family, and it will help fill in a lot of the little in-betweens of what happens.
Okay, that actually answers a lot of the questions on one of the other ones because they had
Yeah.
a lot of questions about
Like similar
Yep.
questions.
Scratch and Angel and all that stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean,
read the book.
there's only so much that we can answer within the story itself that
Yeah.
makes sense to bring up. Otherwise, it's just like we already do a plenty of lore dump in this season. Like, I was very worried about some of these episodes where literally it's like, hey, let me tell you the story of the family. But at the same time, if you don't care about the family, we are really stalling out the momentum of the story for you.
Does it though? I mean, we can
You
have...
like it. Other people may not be into it. Like,
It's true. It's true.
you got to do the balancing act of like, because we haven't done a whole lot of the stuff with the infected in a bit, so we have to make sure that that's something that comes up, and you know all that.
The
which is
end of the
something
last
that, like,
episode
yeah, for
definitely
example-
dropped that quite a bit.
If we weren't specifically on like family stuff, yeah, I would be very much like drowned out and missing some of the infected stuff. So I 100% know what you mean on that. It just so happened you found the one thing that I'm even more interested in, and you went into it for half of a season.
I will say, second half of this series is very infected heavy. So I mean, you'll have that as a other thing. So it's back and forth. It goes back and forth between stuff.
Yeah, and it kind of felt like that a little bit in Story Survival for a couple of the like 1 or 2 of the seasons where it went very like into like people versus people, then back. It always resolved back into the infected. So I guess I was kind of expecting this to a point. I'm just very happy with it not just being people versus people, and it's very family.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
'cause-
I mean, the Alex and Dot stuff. I mean, that was a big storyline that took a while to wrap up. But now that it's done, we can move forward in different ways, and there's still a lot more to tell in their story as well. So we're definitely not done. But they're sitting very safe right now, so we can take our time.
Yeah, I think we even talked about that in either last episode or the episode before that. We were talking about how like we missed them because we like their characters, but at the same time, like it doesn't feel like there's much to tell other than them settling in the Atlas for the moment. Like
Right.
they're probably going to be settling down there for, a week of time while these other two separate parties are going through things day after day for that week of time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
so,
and Alex is dealing with a concussion, so he's got
right.
he's got to heal. And I mean that journey that they were on took a lot out of them. So they gotta have a lot of recovery. Not to mention all the other. Did we?
Uh-oh.
I don't know if we have the nickname for the survivors yet. I don't think it's been revealed.
Are you talking about the slaves from Prim?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Did they have a nickname?
Remember one?
No, I don't.
Do you want to
know.
reveal? I can reveal it to you if you don't.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, absolutely.
Actually, Casey, don't tell us.
Oh darn!
No, I'm joking.
He's saying it rhetorically.
I'm sarcastically. Don't
say
They are called Atlans now.
Atlas.
Interesting.
Ah.
That's cool.
Ooh.
They came up with their own nickname of what they are called.
Huh.
Atlas or the Atlans?
Atlans.
That'll lead into interesting stuff with Gloria.
I know. You said that Alex
So
had
you're
to.
staying.
Alex had to deal with concussion. Yeah, he also has to deal with your own kid. Getting scratched by your kid.
That can be a pain in the ass.
But he does a really good job at it.
He does.
so.
He does.
And it seems like
it's,
he really enjoys it.
It is fun.
All right, so out here I got a question.
Yeah.
From what is it, Mac Universe? He said, "Can you ask him why Vincent?" Oh no, sorry, it was the other one. It was I lost it. It was, I believe it was, who would win in a fist fight between
Skittles or Saul?
I just scrolled over Skittles and Saul. Yeah,
Skittles or Saul?
there's.
Is it Skittles?
Saul?
Was it?
Yeah, he said
my
Skittles
goodness,
or
I
Saul.
lost-
Yeah.
I'd say Saul.
So.
But why Skittles or Saul?
Yeah, why against those two?
I don't know why that person would ask that question, but that was a question they were curious
Skittles
about.
know how to survive,
I know,
but to
I know.
fight,
Skittles is a scrapper. Saul's a fighter.
yes,
Can I
exactly.
go?
Yeah, Skittles is like malnourished.
And then this actually led me to a second question, though.
Yeah.
Who has like who would win in a fight between Angel and Scratch?
Ooh.
Scratch.
Really?
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, I'd
That was
say
interesting
Scratch. Scratch doesn't have hesitation.
Fair.
She didn't have a lot of conscience. I mean, she does. And where we were at with her and her character, she didn't have a lot of barriers to what she would or would not do.
Makes sense.
Morality.
So, yeah, Angel would hesitate. He's not that kind of person. It's the reason why he kind of left the family. He's not like them. He may know some of their ways, and he may have fit in okay, but it wasn't really ever him.
That makes sense.
So at the end of the day, like he was gone because he actually left the family. It wasn't some.
Yeah,
plant
he left. Yep.
Okay, that was my hope. I was really hoping that it would never come back up. That like, oh no, he was planted there and blah blah blah, and that's why he still had the ring. And
Yeah.
because I mean that's the kind of thing that the family would do, but it never. I don't know. It felt like it wouldn't have fit his character at all.
Yeah.
The vendetta against Michael, the theory of vendetta against Michael. I think I've only heard or seen. That's only Ace who said the theory of they made a mistake of thinking that Michael left Angel on the tower. I've never seen or heard anybody from like Facebook group or anything like that they mentioned that, except for Ace. Were you surprised that was taken? Because I didn't even expect that was the that would be the cost of the vendetta.
Oh, that they thought that Michael was inadvertently was responsible for his death.
Right.
Yeah, I mean they needed to blame. They wanted to blame somebody, and it kind of made sense for them.
Mm-hmm.
So it really depends on perspective.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's a key of our storytelling. A lot of times is like, what viewpoint of the characters are you at? Are you at? Are you from a certain point of view? Who is a villain? Who's a bad guy? Who's a good guy?
Yeah.
Is Michael slightly responsible for Angel's death? I mean, sure, Scratch did shoot him in the end, but did he actually die from being up there versus
Yeah.
and was he actually left? Could Michael have saved him? It's
Right.
a lot of questions.
It brings like a lot of hindsight 2020, but like, is it also?
Yeah.
And then there's also the fact that really who's at fault here is Kalani.
Yeah.
Who's really at fault here?
Yeah. I have a two-part question, and then we can ask the last question unless you guys have other questions. The first one, it's more of a confirmation. Does Skittles have any descendants in Descendants? Okay. No. All right. So that answers the question that he has nothing to do with Will. And people have been like saying that theory.
No,
definitely no lineage there. No, Will's parents were the story of Will's parents is absolutely true.
Okay.
There's no guys in that. They died in the arenas. They were brilliant, and it sucks that they one of the most valuable things in this world now is knowledge, and they were tossed in the arenas and died for what?
Yeah.
To what end?
Yeah. And then my second question is the title of the series, Descendants, and we can see throughout from the beginning till now, we can see why the title is Descendants. It could be the family, it could be Cole, it could be it could be a lot of things.
Yeah, it has a lot of play. Yeah.
Right. Would we find out, yes, or do we already know the real meaning why the title is Descendants?
You can kind of figure it out from what you already kind of know in some capacity. I mean, it's the descendants of the characters. It's also the descendants of the infected.
Gotcha.
I'm trying to fix this.
Here's a question. In a previous episode, Angel Sr. stated that he was Angel's father. Was that because he left the family that it was, or because he was dead? Did they disown him? Huh?
Dead.
Well, dead.
Dead?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because he talks about, if you remember, he talks about, it's interesting because, like, when Angel left, he was not happy about him. In some ways, Angel Sr. was kind of disowning him. But now that he is dead, it's almost like he's trying to correct the past in a way. So it's when he's saying it's because he's dead, not that he actually sort of disowned him. So when he left, he kind of did disown him.
His familial love supersedes the family, itself structure.
Yeah, you could say that.
Okay.
But wouldn't be
it's a little bit of both, though. It's a little bit of both for him because they're so ingrained in the family that it's like it's not only their way of life but also their identity.
Yeah.
But wouldn't Angel's leaving be a problem for Angel Sr.? Like as a family member or previous family member?
I mean, yes and no. I mean, they people have left over time, it really depends on how you frame it. If you think of it like this, like you could be like, frame it as like Angel's going off into the army. It's not that he's leaving the family. He's just doing something else.
Yeah.
So you frame it like that, but the reality is he's trying to get away from them and distance himself.
Yeah. And Scratch and Latch recognize Angel. Oh no. Sorry. Angel recognized Scratch and Latch, but Scratch and Latch didn't recognize Angel right away. Is that true? or did they both recognize each other the first time they met?
Scratch recognized Angel more than Angel would recognize Scratch.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, yeah,
They didn't really interact much in the past.
yeah, yeah.
But she is familiar with him and others in his family. So
It was kind of the familiarity, like recognizing. Not, I know who you are.
Yeah. Because as soon as she heard the name, when the whole thing was happening, Scratch was like, Angel. Okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
Huh.
yeah.
I got
So there is some history that crosses over. That's in the family book.
nice.
Nice.
That's gonna be a lot of fun to read.
The families.
We should have story time.
We can't.
We about to still.
Let me tell you a story.
In Angel Senior's voice.
Season 2 is gonna end. We're still gonna be meeting here, recording videos of us just reading chapter after chapter
That's
to
funny.
each other.
I have another question from
Oh,
Reddit.
guess what?
Oh.
I'll do something really exclusive. I'll read a small snippet of the prologue of the family book, if you like.
Yes,
Oh,
please.
yeah.
Yes,
Absolutely.
It's still a work in progress, but here's the first page of it. Let me just scan it and make sure there's nothing in here that I'm not supposed to be doing right now.
Ace is moving so close to the screen. I can see his character.
I don't know what you're talking about. Stop calling me out. I don't need this.
Oh,
tonight.
there is one thing. There is one little bit in here, but I'll leave it in.
Oh.
All right, prologue, September 1991. This is Alpha Tango Tree 1 on approach to DC. Rain pelted the windshield of the private jet as it wobbled back and forth through the air. The lone pilot gripped the flight control stick hard to fight the raging wind that threatened to throw the twin-engine Cessna off course. There was nothing Angel Tenuto Sr. couldn't handle. There was little he couldn't handle. If Mother Nature wanted to disrupt his destiny, she was going to have to try harder than a measly little thunderstorm. After all, he'd survived Vietnam. He could survive this. The jet pitched left hard, but the Angel remained calm. His hands may show the spots of his advancing age, but they remained focused and steady with every precise movement. He had to be. If tonight was going to work, everything had to be calculated precisely. Minutes meant the difference between life and death. Death. After tonight, that wouldn't just be his job, but his legacy. The Angel of Death.
Nice. Nice.
There you go.
Oh my gosh, that was good.
Nice.
Are you trying to think what was that one thing?
Yes.
Shouldn't have said a damn word.
It went over my head. I'm gonna have to listen back to this episode
Too
later. All right.
You'll have a We're Not Dead for the We're Not Dead.
I do have one other question from Reddit that I'm curious about.
Yes.
Said, Catherine said, I've been thinking a lot about the rest of the world. In the latest episode, there was mention about international communication being forbidden. Will we ever get a glimpse of that?
Not so much,
Okay.
because it's out there. There are international trading partners that work with Westport. That are direct. They have a lot of trade that happens over the ocean, because the ocean is actually one of the few areas that's pretty safe for the most part from infected. So there is a lot of international trade. That's one of the reasons why Westport is so valuable, because it's the only Pacific port that is available on this entire continental United States, and probably most even of South America. It's the biggest one, and it's most secure, and so that's a very big strategic, like, economic control.
Okay.
Will we see more of it? Probably not, because it would distract from the focus of the story.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That reminds me, thank you for making a Tagalog word, a Tagalog city. Or Pag-asa. I like that. Yeah, out of all the
You know
Tagalog
what's
words,
funny?
it's hope. Yeah.
There's a backstory for that entire city-state. How's it pronounced? I've been calling it Pagasa, but it's not
It's
pronounced that way.
Pag-asa.
Pagasa?
Pagasa.
Pag-asa, yes. Pag-asa. Yeah.
Yeah, it's formerly West Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
It was formed it kind of joined in mid 2016. And they're mostly pacifists there. They have a lot of it's kind of like a hippie state now. It's a lot of people sort of like
The Philippines.
Get him.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of a story with that, not too much, but I sort of came up with a backstory for all of the states of sort of like how they work, what a bit of their governments were, sort of how they formed, what their priorities are, like I think, has Will mentioned Mariana? I think he has.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mariana is a very big gambling state.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the gamblers that would come to Prim were from Mariana.
Yeah.
And there is it's kind of funny. There's one of the city states is named Eden.
Mm-hmm.
It's formerly Rhode Island.
Yeah.
It's completely surrounded by another state. And Eden is like a state of debauchery. Like anything you want to do, you could probably do in that state. But it's surrounded and controlled by another state. So the only way you can get there is by boat. So there's a lot of little weird stories that are like
Wow.
in the background of UA of why all these little states are, but it doesn't pertain to the main narrative, so it's not something that I'll probably like dwell on.
Yeah.
Super cool, super fascinating. I love hearing like world building. I mean, we've talked about my obsession with stuff like that, but as someone who like is like a really big D&D fan, one of my favorite things is literally just world building, and like we use 2 towns of, you know, the 40 that I've built and have the most random lore to it. It's like you said, like you have to go. You have to
be
get
back
there by
there.
sea.
Yeah,
It's just there. Because why not? Because why? Because well,
Why not?
what if?
Just in case.
What if?
Yeah, if you don't know like the reasoning behind something, like if you don't know like the UA, it's a whole bunch of states to the east of the Mississippi. How do you know anything about them if they don't have any backstory? You know, so you have to know it to be able to tell the story that's in front of it, but you also have to know enough of it to like not talk about it.
Gotcha.
Fair.
I'm gonna ask it. I'm gonna ask the one of the biggest elephant in the room.
There's a controversial question. Is it the one where the user's like, because I got a message on Discord who's like, I got a bone to pick with you about something. I'll give it to the We're Not Dead crew to ask you. Is it that one?
Oh no, it's not that. What was it?
What was that?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm
I don't know
not
either.
on
Let
the
me
Discord.
see.
Where did you read
It's-
that?
Oh,
It was questions for Casey from. If I click on this button, hopefully, it won't. How do I open this in a new window? I don't want to mess up our chat.
Here, are you talking about the one that's from DLU?
Is it on Reddit?
no,
it's on
just
Discord.
Oh, Discord.
It's from Dan Giro. Awesome. If the We're Not Guys Dead read my comment next podcast, you'll probably be there to hear it. From Dan Giro.
Oh yeah, he's made comments before, hasn't he?
Yeah. Huh. I don't know.
Wait, who was the one who did the bit by bit response?
Oh, on
Maybe.
that's on Reddit.
Well, he responds on Reddit, but that's also probably his name.
Oh.
He did
I
that
see,
in
I see.
Discord.
I see. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. No, my elephant in the room is Tanya.
Ah.
Yeah.
You looking for a reaction here?
All right, that's enough. All right, cool, awesome.
That's a good
Thank you.
question. That's a good question.
I mean, what do you want to know? I mean,
word.
Is she alive?
Is she alive? That's a good question.
That's I had to ask.
mean,
You're here.
The last we know about her is she died in 2019 as a complication of cancer, and that's what Nick knows. That's what everybody else knows, and that's all I know at the moment.
Yeah.
I don't believe that. I believe that's all we know.
Yeah. Which it
I
reminded
mean, there is some stuff there that is important that Hope knew, but Hope's dead.
Keyword new.
Hope it's gone.
that's like the
If
same.
Hope survived, we all would know right now, but
right.
she didn't.
Exactly. The same energy
Oh
as
no!
the same energy as Chadwick Boseman, R.I.P. When he's asked, "So what's gonna happen to you?" I don't know. I'm dead. When he got interviewed, I don't know. I'm dead. Same energy.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm dead.
Did you guys find the question
You know
from what's his name?
No,
I say
I don't.
I'll ask something in like the same kind of like wheelhouse.
I will say,
Is-
I'll throw this out, is you will get more concrete conclusions of details of what happened later on.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right.
All right.
More Tanya lore later on.
Yeah.
You will.
Okay.
The journal is still a thing.
Yes.
I didn't forget.
Yes. No. Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
cool.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was a very vital piece right there.
It's the catalyst. It's
Yeah,
what starts it.
absolutely.
Yeah,
There's a reason it's in play.
Yeah.
yeah. So with the boar, will the boar come back as infected or come back at all? Like, is it pretty much concrete that she got turned?
All we know is that Cole was here. The boar was here. The elevator opened here. They both screamed.
Love it.
This is
It's
Ding.
so hard to make that guess right now because we don't know Cole's mannerisms as much. Basically, all we've seen from Cole is he just murked an entire group.
yeah.
And then
Well, we do know.
suddenly
know,
has an
there's
army.
a little bit there. There is a little bit there. It's very in between the lines involving the knife, and that's all I'll say about that. Because you did pick up something about the knife.
Mm-hmm.
So there is some subtext inside of here that I will leave for now. It also has to do with the very first episode of season 1 of Descendants.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's something that happens in there that plays into it somewhat, and that's the only clue that I'll give for now.
Well, guess what we're doing tomorrow?
Listen to season episode 1.
We're still
Re-listening to Gold Rush. Yes. No.
yeah,
Yes.
it's true. We're doing that,
That is-
podcast.
yeah, it's- we are
We
doing
are.
Gold Rush.
I might say we're still kind of upset of what Franklin did to the notes.
Oh, I'm still upset.
We are upset that he.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it then. I mean, the best way to get over something is just to let it.
yeah.
you know what?
Counts.
You know,
Why?
Buggy, you're right. I'm sorry. That was the death that hit me the hardest. Why did the notes have to die?
No, the death that hit the hardest was Jacques.
I'm kind of surprised you didn't say that one
Oh,
earlier.
man.
It was because he didn't want to remember. He didn't want
Okay.
to relive the things that he went through. He was writing the journal to like give him hope of when he gets back and to tell of the journey that he went on. But the journey that he went on was changed him so much that he didn't want to remember all the hardships that he went through and all the things that he's lost, because it changed him. He didn't need to know any more of the journey that he was on. And so it was better to let it go and as more respect for what happened rather than physically carry them on.
Ah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I will
Although-
say, like, stuff like that creates such a fun dynamic for each story is told from a different angle. Like, Story of Survival was, you find out in the last episode, it was all told from a journal.
Yeah.
Basically,
Mhm.
and from the story, unfiltered. And then Lockdown is, for the most part, it's all told from Simeon's point of view. And
And
in
it's
an
all
interrogation
True until one exact point.
until
Yeah.
Jeremy comes in and tells the actual true form of it. Then you
Mhm.
got Gold Rush. That's all told from the soldiers. And
Mhm.
that's kind of just them living it, though, isn't it? If I'm remembering
It's
correctly.
the tape. The tape is the device that
That's
sends us
right.
back.
Mm.
So it is like It's my closest to found footage thing that I'll probably ever end up doing in audio drama because so many people do it. And I don't think that it's really that necessary for storytelling, but what I wanted to do something different with it, because it's not that you're just finding a journey of someone random. It's someone trying to tell you the story of it, and the best way to make you believe it is to show you the evidence that it exists.
Yeah.
Like, because it was so far fetched that you wouldn't believe it. Like the gold, like you put the camera down. I don't even. It's not real. And then he has to go and bring down the gold bar. Which, by the way, I have to get it. 1 second.
He got a gold bar.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh, we're getting followed.
The camera showing it
Hey,
all.
camera, can you shift it to the computer? Go to your left more.
Camera, screen left. Stage left, camera, stage left.
He actually got the bar.
Oh wow.
Is that wood?
This thing. No, it is solid.
Oh wow.
Is that really solid
It's-
gold?
Oh wow.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
dang, I can hear it.
It's so heavy it can hurt you. Like literally, it's I think this is 20 pounds, 25 pounds, something like that.
Mm,
Wow.
that's awesome.
So absurd. I love it.
We had to make it because of things like that. Like, oh, you want to drop a gold bar?
Oh,
You need
just
to actually
drop
have
it.
it sound like a gold bar. It's lead, so I'll be washing my hands.
Oh.
I was gonna say
Oh,
it's
interesting.
not gold. If he had that in gold, wow.
20-pound in gold.
Have some funding for season 3.
That would be, I think it's approximately $500,000 for
Yeah.
something that size in gold.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right. Do you guys have anything else before we ask this last question?
I don't remember. Did we want to see the one from
No,
the
that's it.
Discord?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that's it.
Yeah, I tried to find it. Couldn't
You couldn't
find
find
it.
it? Okay. The last question, which he kind of already answered and we started, was what the next project is after oh, I did have another
We're Alive.
question. Anyways, yeah, what the next project is
It's
after We're
Alaska,
Live.
Yeah.
The next project after We're Live will most likely be The Modern Man.
The Modern
kinda
Man?
teased it a
yeah,
little
yeah,
bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a story I was working on before We're Alive, and then decided to derail and do We're Alive. But I'd like to go back and tell that story. It's really good. It's interesting because some of the stuff that I wrote in that story ended up coming true in real life. So I kind of like missed the boat
Ooh.
a little. So I was kind of bummed about that, but I'll not so much. It's interesting. Some of the aspects to it, like the story that I was telling became trendier after I stepped away from the project, and people have done other stuff. I'm going to leave it open-ended. I'm not going to tell what the story is about so much because of it's part of the discovery of what the story is.
Gotcha. You would have been the
It
next.
starts very small, and then opens up to a much bigger thing.
You could have been. You
I-
could have
I
been
love that a
the.
lot.
You could have been the next Simpsons, Casey.
I was literally thinking the same thing.
predicting the future.
Predicting the future.
Wow.
Simpsons. Dude,
I mean, it's in some ways, literally some of the things in it have happened.
Interesting.
I can't tell you what though because that would spoil exactly.
Yeah.
what it is
Yeah.
that the
Yeah.
I'm
story's
really
about.
excited to see that get made and like to see it because like especially us hearing about it now versus if we just listen to it, it's not gonna be like, oh, he took influence from that moment. It's gonna be like, no, like he had written this moment and we'll see like how it lines up and stuff. So that'll be really cool.
I will say though that you won't actually be able to hear or see it. It's just going to be a book. I'm sort of deciding to retire-ish after We're Alive from doing some production. I mean, I'll still do production stuff, but the problem that I've always had with the We're Alive, and one of the reasons why I'm probably going to do book route is because it takes so much out of me to do the production side on top of the creation side that I almost want to write a story that I don't have to worry about producing.
Makes sense.
That makes sense.
And I mean, if I had unlimited funding, where somebody was funding every single season, and I didn't have to stress about not being able to finish the thing that I've done, like, here's the real truth is like doing Gold Rush Gold Rush was a really hard thing to do to get funding for that. Descendants, same thing. Like, I started doing Descendants, and then COVID happened, and I had to figure out how to get other funding sources, and it's been every single season has presented new problems with just trying to find ways to get it made and done, because it costs a lot just to have the actors, the doing all the music, doing the sound of doing it to the degree that I want to do it. Each season is about $100,000 ish.
Wow.
So that's where I can cut the corners and is my hours. Like, I don't technically pay myself with most of the stuff. And so that's the way that I can kind of make it work, because I'll get paid on the back end for it, where after the series is made, then we do advertising and things like that. It does come back. Right now I've been reinvesting all that into the series, but when it's all over and done with, then I'll probably get compensated for my time ish.
Yeah.
That actually kind of
Hopefully
ties to question I have. So there's obviously thousands of loyal followers. I can speak. How does it feel like, even now, decade after it all started, still drawing in new people to experience, We're Alive from the beginning?
it's weird because it's constantly different waves. I've been doing this so long that some of the fans that were in the beginning are gone. Like, either some of them have passed away, some of them have moved on to other, like, they're like, they love the original storyline and then they didn't follow for this, and then some people have picked it up later and they go back and they love this, and it's really weird because it's a constant change. Like, some fans will be here and they're super, like, they're really into it, and then they are your number one fans, and then it's sometimes we'll just life happens. They get other things going on, and I understand it. We are living lives, and everybody changes. They get other focuses, and there's a lot of other audio dramas out there that may draw them in, or who knows. It just comes and goes. I love it because we constantly getting new people in and new blood and who haven't experienced a story before, and that's really fun. And like, you guys came along, and so it's nice to see new fans come in, and but it is a constant flow. Like, some come in, some leave, go.
Yeah.
It's always back and forth, and and who knows, maybe eventually when we make an adaptation, we're gonna see an entirely new onset of fans, and they'll look at this and be like, oh my god, you made this for how much? Like, you've done how much production over, like that entire back shelf over there is as it scrolls over. So, like, all of that is like the entire series, like, in written form.
Oh wow.
Wow.
And that's not even, I don't even know if that has even the second half of Descendants. So it's like, it's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun. And as long as the fans are along for the ride, I think it'll be it's always been rewarding.
Awesome.
I'll be glad when it's done, and I can be like,
Yeah.
pull back the curtain entirely and be like, okay, here you go.
Yeah.
Here's everything now.
Here's the world.
Yeah.
I will say, if and or when there's like that adaptation, I've already been around for almost 11 years, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to be sitting there for that wait too.
Yeah. We got all four of us.
Yes.
All four
we
of us
will.
are gonna make a cameo. Four
I
guys
mean,
doing a
there's
podcast.
enough zombies in the world, you never know.
We'll be there episode 1. We
Yeah.
will be sitting
We'll take
around
it.
a table that just gets tackled by zombies.
Yeah.
Or by infected.
No, it
That's
doesn't have
it.
to-
That's the cameo.
It doesn't have to be us specifically. It can be like a table with 4 skeletons people in the podcast. Hey,
We
we're not
died.
dead. No, we died.
It'll just be the 3 of us sitting on the couch, and then Jay's just gonna be sitting on the chair next to us.
He went back to his roots. He died there.
I've been contemplating having a scene where you all 4 are in it, you're in the background, but I don't want to spoil your show somewhat. So what I'm thinking about doing is giving you, like, it's almost like a black box scene where you don't actually know what you're doing.
Oh my
The
god.
words can mean something, but you're like, you don't know what's
No
happening.
clue.
Yes.
It's just like the last episode. We get like a key line, don't even realize.
Yeah.
Put that over there. No, it doesn't go there. Are you sure? Yes. And that's it.
That's it.
We'll take it.
Something so ambiguous.
Absolutely.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
Strip of people just fighting.
Yes.
We can't get away from it no matter where we go. It's always a battle.
I'll find something before the end, because I mean, I've been able to get I think so. I think we've had everybody who was in We're Not Dead in the show in some capacity. Nurse Britt was in Fort Irwin.
Oh.
And Greg obviously is Pete.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, they have been in there. So I mean, your time will come.
Yeah. Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
I may just make you in zombies and just make it real easy on myself.
Yeah. Exactly. Wakka can be a descendant of Buffalo Bill. He'll be okay with that.
He's kind of got the hair, you know. I get it.
Yes, exactly. Absolutely. Oh man. Well, Casey, thank you for doing this, and hopefully this will not be the last one.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the other half
this was great.
would love to interview you again before the next season.
Yeah.
No, thank you for doing this. We still cannot believe. I'll tell you this, and we told you this the first time. We cannot believe we're talking to you. We've just been an avid fan since we found this out, and
It's an
then
honor.
just for you to respond to one of our messages, and you're like, "Hey, you guys want to listen to this and review this?" Like, we're all blown away.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's honestly, you help feed me. I will be doing stuff and I'll listen to the show, and it's like, oh cool, they got that. All right, so it gives me like little sparks of inspiration, and when things like I deal with so much crap behind the scenes of like, I'll be writing late at night. Like I dealt with some wrist issues because I was editing so much and writing so much that I was having wrist issues. And so like there's a lot of little things I've had to overcome through it, but it's like it's so rewarding to see how much the fans enjoy it, how much you guys enjoy it, and then what you pick up, and it really feeds me. So it goes both ways.
Yes.
Awesome. Honored.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. All right. Well, thank you for watching and listening to this podcast. That was awesome. I hope you guys enjoy that. And if we didn't answer any of your questions, just ask it anyways. Seriously, just ask it.
Yeah, I was really curious what Dan's question was, because he like prefaced it with like it's really controversial,
Yeah,
and I was like,
I don't know.
We couldn't find it.
I couldn't find it. I am so sorry.
I'm looking.
I'm so
I
sorry.
think he
Dan.
said it was on Reddit, but oh well.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, well.
If anything, we'll ask it on the next episode,
Yeah.
and then I know for sure you'll respond to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
On YouTube.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's well, that's
It's so much. If you're trying to look at the dance, that is
It's a
so
lot.
much.
It's a lot. All right, we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.
Late.